You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time for us to take a look at the stories making headlines across Nigerian newspapers. And I have with me in the studio to make sense of all of these, Oladeinde Ariyo is here, one of our regulars. Good morning, good to see you.
You are greeting me first today. Hey,
I greet you first sometimes. I greet you, he goes and comes and all.
Ladies first.
No, since we don't have a lady here, so I can start anywhere.
So you have been changed.
I also have Dotun Ojon here. Dotun, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Great,
Thank
great.
you, yeah.
All right, let's begin with the Abuja Inquirer. It says it's focusing on COVID-19. UK issues new travel guidelines for Nigerians, and that's the Abuja Inquirer. Okay, from there, let's go to the first news. First news says FBI arrests 11 Nigerians over romance scams. Says the date defraud rich widows, divorced ladies, and old women. Suspects face 30-year jail term. All that on the front page of the first news. Right, from there, let's go to This Nigeria. And it's focusing on 2023 rotational presidency. Northern governors insist on retaining power. That's what it is saying. Berate northern colleagues or southern colleagues over VAT. That's what This Nigeria is saying. North kicks, northern governors insist on retaining power. All right, that's how This Nigeria puts it. From there, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. It's focusing also on 2023. Northern governors kick, reject power shift to the south. That's what Blueprint is saying. Say 1999 Constitution provides for majority rule. Back federal government's position on the VAT as a value-added tax, or VAT as it is called in some places. Urge action on National Livestock Transformation Program and task troops on simultaneous operations against insurgents. All right, those are all issues on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Leadership is next. Leadership is also focusing on the 2023 presidency. Northern governors, traditional rulers or leaders reject power shift. That is what Leadership newspaper is saying. From there, let's go to the Daily Times. The same thing, 2023 presidency, northern governors reject southern governors' position. Okay, that's what Daily Times is saying. Northern governors reject southern governors' position. Okay, so it's governors from one end against governors on another end. Nigeria News Direct is focusing on 2023 presidency. Northern governors, traditional rulers, condemn southern counterparts on zoning principle. That is what the News Direct is saying. Southern governors confusing VAT for sales tax. That's northern governors are saying this. Okay, all right. That's News Direct. Daily Trust is next. It's 2023. North rejects southern governors' demand for power shift. Says they are confused over VAT or VAT. Hails anti-banditry operation. And Afenifere Pandef condemns stands, governor's mum. Okay, that's a Daily Trust newspaper. The Punch is next. Anger trails northern governors' opposition to 2023 power shift. Governors demand for South presidency in 2023 unconstitutional. That's a forum is saying that. And northern governors working towards Nigeria's breakup, says Ohaneze. Regional governors paying lip service to Nigeria's unity. Afenifere is saying this. Okay, that's the Punch newspaper. From there, let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says North's governors, emirs reject power shift in 2023. It will be unconstitutional. Akeredolu, on the other hand, says they have a right to their opinion. That's what is on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Daily Sun. Northern governors declare South on, Northern governors dare South on 2023 presidency. Slam Southern counterparts say no constitutional provision on power rotation. Task federal government on insecurity. Decline comments on VAT. Okay, that's Daily Sun. The Guardian says your position unconstitutional. North governors reply South colleagues. Okay, from there let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Northern governors back federal government on VAT, says power shift unconstitutional. Argue Lagos Rivers confusing VAT as sales tax, await Supreme Court judgment. Okay, that's the Nigerian Tribune. The Vanguard is next. Northern governors at war over VAT and power shift. Okay, still on the same thing. This day, Northern governors, power shift not in the Constitution. Condemned statement by the Southern governors that power must move to South. Oppose state's collection of VAT, say it would lead to multiple taxation. That's this day. The national economy, okay, is going another route now. National economy says oil price will hit $100 per barrel this October. As more economies reopen, supply chains loosen. Okay, that's national economy. Business day is talking about different things as well. Okay, let's end it there now. Let's go into our discussion. Then I have with me Oladeinde Ariyo as well as Dotun Ojon in the studio. We are, going to make sense of all of this. Most of the papers this morning talk about the outcome of the meeting of the Northern Governors Forum. That some of the highlights there talk about the issue of a rotational presidency, which is an issue that Nigerians are all concerned about, looking 2 years into 2 years towards the presidential or general elections. But before we go into the issue of, the outcome of that meeting, let's talk about another issue around COVID-19. First, just briefly before we go there, the Abuja Inquirer says COVID-19, UK issues new travel guidelines for Nigerians. It draws our attention to the issue of concerns that countries are still having when people are making their travels here and there because of COVID-19. Doctor, let me start with you on this. Countries are still, there are still restrictions here and there, considering variants. After the Delta variant, we hear there is a Mu variant, and there are concerns from here and there.
And also, one important thing that I think we should also talk about is the response of government and the people. A lot of us in Nigeria, because of our religious affinity or our belief, we still think that some of these things are not real. And it's not just about religion, it's also about the fact that over the time we have come to a zone where we always doubt whatever government says. So these are some of the things that are playing out. And the third aspect, which is critical and very important, is that we've discovered from Edo State, for example, that there were people who presented fake COVID-19 vaccine certificate. So there are possibilities here and there. In fact, somebody called me and was asking whether I was actually willing to take the vaccine or I just needed a certificate, that there's a way he could actually do it. So these are some of the areas that is giving the international community a lot of concerns as to, especially when it comes to Nigeria, because we have this spirit of anything can happen and everything goes. So when you can hawk or get vaccine certificate perhaps under the bridge, then things like this will continue to crop up.
Well, Oladeinde, I wonder what you make of this, because actually when it comes to the issue of fake certificates and certifications for all of these, we've been seeing that even in the times of yellow fever and so on. We have some, we hear of some of these things.
Start from. Perhaps if you have never traveled out of Nigeria before, you may not have tasted that racket. It concerns yellow card. They call it yellow card.
Exactly.
I remember.
The card is actually yellow.
I was at an embassy here in Bureau Island, and they were hawking the cards. And I was like, does it mean that by purchasing this card, you automatically get immune from having yellow fever? We've been so careless and so passive about these things.
But the bigger concern is them not being arrested by
I understand, forgetting that they were putting their lives and those of people around them at their risk. It's even worse with COVID-19, that is highly infectious. And when I read the report, I was like, God, we still come this way again. I think we need a better orientation across so many platforms now, because you can't be playing games with your lives. Kind of loud.
All right. Well, let's leave that now and then delve into the bigger issue here. Most of the papers this morning are focusing on the outcome of the Northern Governors.
You call it a bigger issue. It's a non-issue.
No, the point there is the issue that all the papers have decided to focus. All right. Now, Dotun, one of the issues around the outcome of the meeting, or the fallout of the meeting of the governors in the north, is the issue of rotational presidency, which they say that it is unconstitutional for southern governors to say that, the presidency in 2023 has to come to the south. Now, if you set the 1999 constitution as amended, actually there's nothing like rotational presidency there. So why is this so much of an issue right now?
It's actually a fight between law and logic, as we have it now. Unfortunately, I think regional survivor has actually taken over national success. And Bennett, both the national success and regional survivor, is the feeling of an average man on the street. And this is not being considered. For example, 2007, let me cite an example. There was a Southwest man who was there for 8 years. And after him, a South-South man came up. I can be president because we have 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And it went back and forth. They went into negotiation. I want to believe that this is part of the game to 2023. As we speak now, Mike, today, our next general election is 508 days away. And for an average politician, I've contested the election. Immediately I came out October 10 out of my election. The first call I received, which was, I put up my phone, which was October 12, was talking about, okay, what's the preparation for 2024? And that is the thinking of an average politician. Unfortunately, in between the mix is the fact that, what is the problem of Nigeria? Is it in rotational presidency? The answer is no. The major challenge we have as a people now is that of leadership failure. And it's not a subject of whether somebody comes from the north or from the south. But over the time, because either we like it or not, you talk about regionalism, you talk about ethnic interests here and there. And because now nobody is talking about national success again, I just know that once I can produce the president at this tenure, that maybe road will lead to my community. That's what we have reduced ourselves to. So now, like I said, it's not logical, it is not legal, but it is logical to think that in a community like ours, with over 200 ethnic groups, that power will now reside in one zone for too long a time.
It's okay. Well, Oladeinde, the point there is, so many persons have often argued that this issue of the president must come from here or from there and all of that. Now, why is it a big issue? Because it doesn't, like we have said so many times, currently, the president of Nigeria originates or comes from Katsina State. Katsina State is not benefiting anything extra because the president is from there. When we had Ogun State, the president from Ogun State or from Bayelsa State or from Anambra State in the case of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Bauchi State, or Niger State, there was nothing special. Those states are not high up there because we've had presidents from them. So why is there so much debate around where the president comes from?
There are two sides to the coin. The one side is where we look at a particular community not getting any extra benefit or enjoying any extra advantage because they have their son in office. The Abeokuta-Songota Road is a very good example. Shivano Ojo had this farm in Ota, and everybody took it for granted that he will attend to that road. He never did. When President Jonathan was there, there wasn't any serious impact on Otoke or the South. So for me, it's neither here nor there. But the peculiarity of Nigeria must be considered. Whether we like it or not, we have a government today, a man who has demonstrated crass nepotism, whether we like it or not. So much that now we're talking of establishing a naval base in Kano. Okay, there has been a lot of...
I would take that as your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of forth and back kicking, so much that, like never before, they have been so disunited. And that for me is a concern. I would have thought that from all divides, politicians will come together and attend to our raging challenge of security, and of course other challenges, including the economy. We're in a country where we are expending 97.7% of our national income to service debts. Now, in whose interest are people now fighting for power? The people's interest? There's massive insecurity. You saw a report there where they said 42 people were killed somewhere in Kaduna State. And we still have children taken into custody by kidnappers for 2-3 months now. They are still there. Nobody is looking in that direction. Is it about power? Must it be about power or service delivered to the people? I mean, all this permission they are putting on, it's all for negotiation. That's why I said for me, it's not an issue. You know, because it's a game, and you can't be playing games with the destiny of a nation and of a people, because it will backfire. That's why I say it's not. I mean, so it's very painful that we are where we are now. The question is, how will this lead to development and growth? Nobody can justify that. I would rather the gladiators they go and they go back to their drawing table and think of how to make Nigeria better first. Let them close the ranks, come together and come up with visible, sustainable solutions to our teaching problems. Maybe then we can be talking of who takes what. But definitely, it will not be acceptable logically to use his word that a northerner we want to continue being our president in 2023. All these things, they are making it look like that year may never come.
All right, but certainly it will always come. Yeah. It will always come. Now, Dotun, the point there is, although like we have said or have established, there is nowhere in the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended,
rules all over the world
that specifies rotational presidency. But as a way of, okay, if this thing means so much to Nigerians, because you're talking about the issue of logic, every Nigerian is seeing it from that. Even if you cascade it down to states, there is always the permutation of, okay, the past governor came from this senatorial district, so let the other one come from the, you know, if you cascade it down from local government, there are also all of those things. So since it has become an issue that Nigerians are so conscious about, should it now become a constitutional issue when it comes to reviews and deliberately putting it there somewhere?
You know why it's a bit difficult is that, why it's a bit difficult is that even within the zones we have the big elephants who don't care about the small goats. For example, we are talking about the North today, but the North Central is part of the North, but nobody is talking about them. So these are some of the issues. But again, I want to quickly make a point that people are not benefiting when the president comes from a particular zone. Mike, you are talking about the Nigerian masses. When President Goodluck Jonathan was there, the space within, I don't know whether you were in Aso Rock within that period of time, the space of Aso Rock, everyone that is coming there, you will see this Niger Delta cap. Because 10% of the population that rules the remaining 90%, they are getting their benefit. The contractors are singing ethnic song to get contract from the federal government once their people are there. So the masses may not benefit. The road to water may not be tarred. But ask the big politicians there what they benefited when Baba Basanjo was the president. The same thing we are happening now. The same thing we are seeing now. That is why it's always an agitation within the power brokers that my men too must be represented. Unfortunately, the presidency is not even different. It's not what makes democracy democracy. We had a military president. What makes democracy democracy is actually the National Assembly. That was what we lacked within the period that military came to power. And now our concentration should be on, first, how to actually empower an average Nigerian to have an understanding of how to choose leadership. Right. Because leadership is a potent combination of character and competence for the benefit of the people.
Character and competence.
Yes, once you don't have this to the benefit of the people, it doesn't matter what you are saying, whether it's South or, but morally, we shouldn't be talking about northern presidency.
Yeah. Character, competence, and all of that leads to capacity too. All right, now as we wrap up, as we round off, what do you see going forward from your crystal balls, if you have it and you're looking at it? How do you see this playing out as we go?
Well, for me, it's a confirmation of leadership deficiency. Right. Because if those who should lead, if those we see as leaders are making statements that are inimical to the unity of the country, I'm afraid it's not going to be, it's not okay. Then let's also remember that in all of these crises, because that's how I say it, where is the position of the Nigerian? How is he going to be well served, better than is being served? So for as long as we play politics of relevance, okay, desecrating the national landscape at the altar of personal aggrandizement and favor, we're not growing the country. Concern should have been a lot more focused on, okay, this is where we are now. How do we solve this problem? The dollar against Naira now is a terrible position. Oh, yeah. Nobody is addressing that. And you just ask yourself, why is it always about power? When you get the power, what are you going to be doing with it?
What do you do with it?
Nobody is bringing any manifesto. So where is the merit in all of these things? And that is my worry.
Right.
Because the country I grew up in, that I was born into and grew up in, it's not the country that I'm living now, of course, that I may also die in.
All right. God will grant all of us long life. But we have to leave it here now. The point there is these discussions will continue because Nigerians are going to keep reacting to some of these things. Oladeinde Ariyo, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you. Dotun Ojon, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you. Great.